The queens enter the workroom, once again congratulating Marina on winning last week's challenge. Icy rolls her eyes and tells the queens that they're being so bitter about her staying, and the other queens try their best to ignore her.
It's a new day in the workroom, and maybe this week is the moment that I finally start being taken seriously in the competition. Between being roasted by the judges on the main stage and being underestimated by the other queens, I feel like I'm completely written off. That changes today.
Jem then decides to clear the air, and asks the queens what kind of challenge they think they'll be facing this week. Sackboy says that he hopes it's another team challenge, so that they can all spend some more time working together and strengthening the bonds that they all have together. Icy scoffs at this and tells Sackboy that she'd rather watch paint dry. Sackboy smiles and tells Icy that she thought of a really good idea for a challenge, and that the judges should keep it in mind.
That girl really is trying her hardest to piss everybody in the room off. At least someone's not getting affected by it. Sackboy's been keeping positive from day one, and I don't think they even realize that Icy's being mean to them. I wish I could be as ignorant as Sackboy was. Wait, that came out wrong. That's not what I meant.
As the TV goes off, the queens prepare themselves for another gauntlet of challenges thrown their way. Here's the sitch, queens. Are you seeing double, or are you just another copycat? For this week's mini challenge, I want to see just how well you can emulate your fellow queen's makeup. You'll all pair up and get into quick drag, trying to emulate your partner's style, with the best face earning the win. Your time starts now.
It's a shame that Amy had an allergic reaction to the foundation I used on her during the mini challenge. It's even more upsetting to hear that the nurses had an EpiPen on hand and cleared her to continue. Oh well, maybe next time.
Marina won the mini challenge.
I'm sensing that history's repeating itself here, but I'm not complaining about a second mini win in a row. Sackboy looked absolutely stunning after I was finished with him, and I'm very pleased with my work. Sackboy's makeup was an interesting choice on me, I'd have to say, but it's no fun not experimenting, I suppose.
For this week's Maxi challenge, you'll do-si-do and cha-cha-cha in our first ever choreography challenge. All of you will choreograph and perform to the latest single from Season 1 runner-up Princess Daisy, Flower Power. Cooperation is key, and I want to make sure that all of you can work together to put on a sickening performance. After all, you'll be working together quite often once the season finishes. On the runway, category is Tantalizing Trains. Good luck, and don't fuck it up.
Oh my gosh, I'm so excited to have a chance to choreograph a performance like this. I can finally live out my pop princess fantasy, at least vicariously. Britney, watch out, diva, I'm about to come for your gig.
Once the challenge gets underway, Marina pulls Jem and Amy aside and confides in them that she's nervous about doing choreography, as her tail doesn't lend itself very well to synchronized group numbers. Amy tries to reassure Marina that her tail isn't going to get in the way, and that she'll have immunity in case she slips up. Marina doesn't seem to be any less stressed out, however, and ends up falling over herself during rehearsals.
I've never seen Marina this unsettled before. It's almost like she's a completely different person. She always seemed so put together, so polished, so sure of herself, but now, I'm really hoping she can pull herself together. I'm not comfortable just sitting here and watching her struggle.
On the other end of the workroom, Sackboy is planning out their solo with the help of Brandy and Betty, and suggests the idea of being tossed in the air to do some moves reminiscent of cheerleading. Brandy seems skeptical of this, and worries that she might injure Sackboy if she doesn't catch them. Sackboy shakes their head and tells her that they don't have any bones, and that they're made up of pure unadulterated joy and creativity. Betty gives Brandy a look that implies she thinks that Sackboy might have a few screws loose, but doesn't say anything else.
Let me start by saying that I absolutely love Sackboy's optimism, but I have no clue what the heck they're talking about sometimes. It's like they're in their own little world, and it's taken Brandy and I a few times to get them back on track with rehearsing our choreo. It's like babysitting a child sometimes, and I thought I was done with that after getting onto Drag Race.
I could tell that my friends weren't very sure of my idea, but I know that a little reassurance and positive thinking goes a long way in giving anybody the confidence and strength to succeed at anything that they put their mind to. And it's certainly paid off. Brandy and Betty are on board with my choreography, and it's certain to give the judges a spectacle.
During a break in rehearsals, Icy pulls Naz aside and seems to have taken on a genuine tone with her, concerned about how she's doing after doing somewhat poorly the past few weeks. Naz seems to scowl at this and tries to walk away, but Icy stops her, telling her that she knows how Naz can stand out and impress the judges this week. She tells her that breaking free from the choreography will help her to stand out, and give her more of a Beyoncé flair to her performance. Naz seems to be intrigued by this, but, still skeptical, tells Icy that she'll think about it. Icy tells Naz that she doesn't want to be seen as untrustworthy, and hopes that her advice will be taken seriously.
Icy was actually kinda nice to me this week. I've already had it rough from every other person here these past few weeks, so maybe she's actually taken pity on me. Could Icy have actually turned over a new leaf?
Of course I'm messing with Naz. The best thing to do while your competition is struggling is to kick them while they're down. I'll let Naz believe that I'm doing her a solid, and then when she gets on that main stage, she'll realize she failed yet again, give up, and go home. All according to plan.
Right before their performance, Betty begins to read the letter that Veronica had left her before she left, and promises herself that she'll try to redeem herself after her best friend left too soon. She looks at the other queens around her and takes a deep breath before rejoining them in last-minute preparations.
I've had a lot of time to think about Ronnie after she got sent home, and I realize that I have to do better. I can't let Icy win, and I definitely can't let Veronica's elimination be in vain. She's going to pay, and I'm going to do whatever it takes to make sure that she goes home before I do, one way or another. And that means I have to do my best in this challenge, no matter what.
Amy, Jem, Icy, and Sackboy had a great performance. Marina, Brandy, Naz, and Betty had a good performance.
The competition's pretty stiff. There wasn't much wiggle room when it came to our overall performances. I didn't see anyone miss a step or do too much outside of Naz, but I think she was trying to be the Beyoncé in a group full of backup dancers. Interesting choice, but I don't think she really understood what we were trying to do.
On the runway, category is tantalizing trains. Brandy slayed the runway. Icy and Sackboy had a great runway.
Girl, I ate that up so much. The runway was truly a showstopper. This is definitely going to net me another win, and I can tell that Kim was considering calling it here and giving me the crown already. I wouldn't blame her. I'd crown me, too, if I looked that sickening.
Jem, Marina, and Betty had a good runway. Amy and Naz had a bad runway.
I'm rarely one to get nervous, but I haven't felt this stressed out in quite a long time. Immunity or not, I know that I didn't do as well as I wanted to this week, and it's a major blow to my psyche. I don't want to disappoint my fans or the judges, but disappointing myself is a whole other story. I'm not looking forward to the critiques this week, and I pray that I'll be able to get out of this nightmare relatively unscathed.
Welcome to the main stage of Drag Race Toontown. Let's meet our judges. First, our resident panelists, my best friends, they're Monique and Ron Stoppable. And our guest judge, our princess-turned-pop sensation, it's Season 1 runner-up Princess Daisy. Now let the judging commence. Ladies, the competition is starting to get more and more cutthroat, and you need to be at the top of your game no matter what comes. From here on out, there is no more immunity, so make sure to bring your best every single week. There's no more handouts. With that being said, we've made some decisions. Amy Wong, tonight, your performance could have been a perfect 10, but your runway seemed to be a slight stumble. You're safe.
That stings a little. I thought that my runway this week was fab, but I must be mistaken. Maybe I'm just ahead of my time. At least my face wasn't swollen anymore like it was earlier in the week. I'd hate to have come down the runway looking like I swallowed a bee, too.
Brandy Harrington, although your performance wasn't winning any trophies anytime soon, your train runway had us completely wowed. You're safe.
Oh, that's kind of a gag, honestly. I could have sworn I was in the top of my iconic runway. Whatever, I felt my fantasy on that stage, and nobody can take that away from me.
Icy, your grace in your performances was a special, vulnerable side we haven't seen before, and your runway kept your momentum chugging along. Good job, you're safe.
I would have loved another win to just rub it in the other queens' faces, but now that there's no more immunity, I don't really care anymore. Now, I don't need to be the best, I just don't want to be the worst. And my safety net strategy is definitely helping with that. I see two blonde flops on that stage, and I have a very strong feeling on who the bottom two is going to be.
Jem, your performance was an elegant display of music and dance, and you made an impression with your tantalizing train runway. Congratulations, you're safe.
Fine by me, Kim. As long as that wicked bitch from the West doesn't win, I don't mind if I don't. Besides, I've been doing super well for most of the competition, so I'm not super worried about it right now. Daisy knows exactly what it's like to not win any challenges for a long while, and just look at how successful she is.
Sackboy, your performance had us cheering louder than a pep rally, and your train runway easily helped you conduct your way to victory this week. Congratulations, you are the winner of this week's challenge.
Yahoo! I did it! They loved my dance number. I can't believe I managed to impress them and show off my skills to the world. Oh, thank you, Kim. Thank you, everybody. I couldn't have done it without the help of my friends.
Naz, your choreography didn't seem to flow well with the rest of the group, and on the runway, your train look seemed to go off the rails. I'm sorry, my dear, but you were up for elimination. Betty Cooper, your inconsistencies in performing came to a head tonight, as you seemed unsure of your moves on the main stage, and your runway never really left the station. I'm sorry, my dear, but you were up for elimination. Marina, while you did have immunity this week, I wanted to tell you that you wouldn't have needed it, as your overall performance and runway were good enough to keep you out of the bottom. Try not to lose your momentum. You're safe.
You don't know just how thankful I am that I did have immunity anyway. Maybe that little reassurance in the back of my mind was the one thing that kept me from losing my composure and falling into the bottom, or heaven forbid, truly hurting myself. All I can do now is just prove that this is a one-time occurrence. Kim, babes, I won't let you down again.
Two queens stand before me. Prior to tonight, you were asked to prepare a lip-sync performance to Here We Go by Moonbaby. This is your last chance to impress me and save yourself from elimination. The time has come for you to lip-sync for your life.
Even after I gave it my all, I still landed in the bottom. I can't let Veronica down, and I can't let Icy win. I'm never going to give up, and I'm not going to give in to Icy or anybody like her. Prepare to see just what I'm made of.
It's so obvious that I'm just going to continue being the punching bag while I'm here. Kim might as well just tell me to sashay away right now. I don't even care anymore. Betty, you're welcome for the free ride. I'm out of here.
Good luck, and don't fuck it up. Naz had a bad lip sync. Betty flopped the lip sync. Ladies, that was very disappointing. But I've made my decision. Betty Cooper, Shantae, you stay. Naz, you were truly too cool for Drag Race. But I want you to know that you shouldn't get discouraged. Hold your head up high and continue to hone your craft, and I'm sure we'll see you go on to do fabulous things. Now, sashay away.
I hope your little gerbil is happy. Ron, Rufus, catch me outside.
This is Untucked.
The queens relax backstage, congratulating Sackboy on their first win and Betty for surviving the lip sync. Betty seems extremely discouraged, having both lost her best friend and disappointing the judges once again. She seems to be detached from the rest of the conversations, and Jem walks over to ask her how she's doing. Betty doesn't say anything, but begins crying, and Jem helps to wipe away her tears, reassuring her that Veronica would want her to do her best, and that she shouldn't lose hope, deciding to spend time with Betty away from the rest of the queens. Meanwhile, Sackboy is still celebrating with the other girls about winning the challenge, and Brandy tells Sackboy she'll never doubt them again when it comes to their ideas. Sackboy giggles, and says that they're glad people think that about them. Icy seems to take notice from a distance, and a smirk crosses her face, as she prepares to strategize her next plan of attack on another target.
Hey, squirrel friend. When one video ends, just open up another one. It's called binge viewing. Go ahead. I support you.
Oh, Kim, I thought the queens would have better lip syncs after our season aired, but I guess not. Ah, some things never change.